I'm Duncan Campbell. Welcome to Living Dialogues. It's a real treat to have friends of mine here who have been involved with Rising Voices for the last 3 years, and it's taking place right here in the heart of science and climate science with the National Center for Atmospheric Research, UCAR, and people coming from around the country representing indigenous wisdom.
The 4 questions that the UN asked the body of 3,000 scientists around the world: is climate change real? Is there a human fingerprint on it? Are there things we can do to mitigate the causes of climate change? And how do we adapt to those conditions that we can't mitigate? And those answers of the first 2 are purely scientific. I mean, where do you put the thermometer to get the global warming temperature of the entire globe? It's a lot of science involved, and we trust that the scientists have done that in peer-reviewed ways and have come up with good answers. So is there a human fingerprint on the pollution, on the causes of climate change? Yes, there is. The greenhouse gas emissions are piling up, causing the planet to warm. Are there things to mitigate? That gets very political because that involves vested interests of those in the production of greenhouse gas emissions, and a lot of denial took place in that realm. But the last question, physical scientists, climate scientists were asked about how will we adapt to it? What are the human behavioral strategies? And that's not their area. They've got nothing in that realm. But they came back to the UN and they said, you need to go home and talk to your local people and talk to your indigenous peoples to see how we can begin to adapt to a changing, very rapidly changing world.
And when you look at the definition of science in general, our ancestors have been practicing science for thousands of years. The descendants that exist today wouldn't be here today if we weren't able to transfer that knowledge, duplicate, hypothesize, experiment.
Some of these communities who've been living there for thousands of years before anyone else ever came, they were there and learning how to live in this environment. And as it's changed over those centuries, they've continued to adapt to it. And so how have they done so? Why not turn to them for some of those answers?